Hey guys, so in this tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to make this Loomigurumi Polar Bear with a scarf, I guess, or just polar bear, which was designed by me. So here's the design. This guy is purple, but he's supposed to be a polar bear. I'm running low on white, so I kind of, when I was writing down the pattern, I was just like, I'll make a purple one. But it is supposed to be a polar bear, so it's supposed to be a little bit more like this. He's all bundled up in his scarf. I also think they look hilarious because if you take the scarf off, they just have like the world's longest neck. But I thought it would be kind of funny to give him a long neck, so that was like an intentional choice. But yeah. I'm pretty happy with how this design turned out. I think it looks pretty cute. So if you want to make this design, I think it's fairly easy. I don't think it's that hard. There is a little bit of attaching, but I have to say, of all my designs, like, this is probably an easier one. I wouldn't think it's too hard. But we do attach, like, this for the face, the ears, the arms, and the legs, but it's not bad at all. What else do I have to say? Band-wise, I don't know how many bands it takes. I haven't done a band count yet. I just haven't done the math. But if you want to know how many bands this takes, you can check, and down in the description below I will have put the band count and how many bands everything is if you need to know. And yeah, I guess that's it. So I guess it's been a minute since I filmed a tutorial, so in my head I'm once again doing the checklist of have I said everything. I don't know, but yeah, anyways, so what you'll need to make this guy, you're of course gonna need some bands of whatever color you want your polar bear to be. I actually found some white bands in my room, so I'm going to be doing a white polar bear. And then for the scarf, I'm thinking because it's around Christmas time when I'm posting this, I'm going to do like a red and green scarf. And then I'll be giving my guy some cheeks too, and I have some pink bands for that. If you want to give your polar bear eyes, you can use beads or you can use bands, both work. These are 4mm round beads, and I got them from Michael's, I think. So yeah. And of course you're going to need a hook. I'm going to be using my usual double-ended hook today, but we only need one end, so if you don't have a double-ended hook, you could use a Rainbowloom hook, a crochet hook, whatever you have. And I think that's pretty much it. You're also going to want to get some stuffing. I'm going to be using cotton balls today. I always use cotton balls. You can use polyfill, or you don't necessarily need stuffing if you absolutely don't have any. And the very last thing you're going to need is a C-clip of some sort. I have this red C-clip I just found on my desk. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So cute. So, I guess we're gonna get started. That's like the shortest intro I've done in a long time. I guess I just don't have much to say. As always, the pattern and everything will be down in the description box below. It's actually gonna be a little interesting for me today because I am back home from college and I had to write the pattern in my sketchbook. This is my sketchbook instead of like my usual book, and it doesn't stay open, and it's been a pain already, so we're just gonna have to make it work. Anyways, I'm gonna pick up some bands and then we'll get started. So to start, we're gonna start with a triple cap band. Also, this hook is so thin, it looks slightly bended, so let me just bend it back. I have sat on like this really thin hook before and it's just like completely bent, and sometimes you just have to like bend it back, but anyways, getting distracted. So we're going to start with a triple cap band. So we're going to wrap a band 3 times around our hook. So 1, 2, and then 3. And then we're going to be putting 4 stitches in this cap band. We're going to put 4 stitches in this cap band. So if you know how to do that, you can go ahead and do that. If not, I'm going to show you. So we're going to take a band. We're going to pull it through the whole cap band. We're going to put both ends back on our hook. Then we're going to push the back loop over the front loop. Like that. Now we're going to go back through the whole cap band. And since it's a triple cap band, there should be 3 loops. We're going to pull the band through just these 3 loops, so not this last one. Put both ends back on our hook. Push the back loop over the front loop. And then push this loop from last time over as well. And we're going to repeat that exact same thing we just did 2 more times. So we have 4 stitches in this cap band. So we have 2 right now. And the way I know I have 2 is I just count the one on my hook and then I count the 1 loop. And that's how I know I have 2. But we need to do 2 more stitches, so we have 4 in total. So once again, back through the cap band, pull a band through just the cap band for both ends back on your hook. Push the back one over the front one, and then push the loop from last time over as well. Go ahead and do that one more time. Like that. So now, that would have been our first like row or like section or whatever. So now we're just going to count how many we have. So we should have 4, and once again, you start by counting the one in your hook, and then you count the loops going that way. So we have 1, 2, 3, and then 4. You can kind of see that you have 4 as well. So now instead of going back into the cap band, we are going to go through this first loop here. And then we're going to pull the band through. Put both ends back on our hook. Push the back one over the front one. And then push the loop from last time over as well. And this is where we're going to put our C-clip to mark our rows. So we're just going to go ahead and put our C-clip on that one. So that's it for the first bit, and usually the hardest part just because of how tiny it is. For the next row, we're going to be increasing everything. So we're going to be doing an increase in every single loop. And yeah. I keep hearing my family talking and I'm like getting distracted. I'm like, what's happening out there? But I don't know. I hear people on my door too. I'm like, what is going on? Anyways, so like I said, we're going to be increasing everything. So at the end of this row, we should be at 8 loops. This loop already has 1 stitch in it, and all it increases is you do 2 stitches per loop. So we're going to go back into this same loop. And we're going to do another stitch. And that'll be an increase. So as you can see, there's 2 stitches in this loop. I'll show you again on the next one because it's always a little confusing with this first one because we do the thing with the C-clip, but we're going to go to the next loop and we're going to do the same thing. So we're just going to put 2 stitches in this loop. So we're going to go ahead, make 1 stitch, go back in, make another stitch, and then that'll be an increase. So we're just going to keep doing that until we get to the C-clip. So once again, go into the next loop, make 1 stitch, go back in, do another stitch, and that's an increase. And we're already almost back at the C-clip because of how tiny this is right now. So we just do it one more time, and we're back at the C-clip. And now we're just going to make a stitch on the loop that has a C-clip on it, and make sure you go through both loops. And then we're just going to move our C-clip up. So we're going to take our C-clip off of the loop it's on and move it up onto the loop that is on our hook. Like that. And now if we count around, we should be at 8 loops. So we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And this first bit always tends to be a little weird, so I kind of like to flip it inside out just like once, and it kind of rounds itself out. Like that. So for the next row, we are going to be increasing every other, and what that means is that we're going to alternate between doing a single stitch and an increase, and I'll show you what that means in a second. I got a little scatterbrain there because I heard my family like talking outside my door. My little brother's sick right now, and he is kind of like quarantined to his room, which is right across the hall from mine. So I just heard him and my mom talking, and I was like, what is going on? But it's okay. And he's feeling fine. He's alright. He's just sick. You know, being sick sucks. Anyways. So, like I said, this row we're going to be increasing every other, and at the end of this row we'll be at 12 loops. So, since this first stitch we did is a single stitch, so we just have 1 stitch in this loop, the next one's going to be an increase. So we're going to go ahead and go into the next loop. We're going to put 2 stitches in it, because that's an increase. That. And because we're alternating between doing increases and single stitches, since we just did an increase, the next one will be a single stitch. And then because we just did a single stitch, the next one will be an increase. We just keep doing this all the way around. So we have our increase, single stitch. And then once again, once you get to the C-clip, you'll make a stitch on the one with the C-clip on it and move it up. So that's it for that row, and like I said before, if we count around, we should be at 12 loops, so let's go ahead and count. We should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Like that. So now is where it's going to get a bit repetitive. Like I said, I gave these polar bears like really long necks. I don't know why I did that. Sometimes when I'm stuck on like what to do for loom designs and I'm like, how should I make the shape? I like to look at stuffed animals and then like steal their shape and like make it in loom form. And I saw this one polar bear plushie with like a really long neck and I was like, that's hilarious. I need to make a long neck polar bear with a scarf. So I made him with a really long neck, and yeah, so it's gonna get repetitive because we are now at the point where we're making his long neck. So for the next 6 rows, we are going to do 6 rows of just single stitches. So we're just doing 1 stitch per loop, and at the end of each of these rows, we should still be at 12 loops. And yeah, so I'm gonna stay and I'm gonna do a couple rows with you guys, and then I'm gonna go off camera and do the rest of the rows, just because if I did all 6 rows, this tutorial would be a little long. Honestly, it probably wouldn't be. I can loom pretty fast, but I'm still gonna go off camera and do a couple rows. And then I'll show you what to do next. Yeah. Okay. So like I said, all we're doing for these rows is we're just doing 1 stitch per loop all the way around until we get to the C-clip. So I'm just putting 1 stitch in every loop. Like that. And we're almost there. And I'm 1 band short. Like that. Okay, so that went pretty fast, and that was 1 row of single stitches. So if we still count around, we should still be at 12 loops. So we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we're just going to repeat that 5 more times, so we have 6 rows in total, and then yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to stay on and do about 2 rows with you, and then I'm going to go off camera and do the other 3. And yeah. I always sometimes worry like if I'm explaining enough with the single rows, but I feel like single rows are fairly simple. Also, I've been really like making an active like effort to try to go a little bit slower in this tutorial, because a lot of my comments have been like, Ginger, why are you going so fast? And I always know like I go a little bit fast. I'm gonna go ahead and start the 2nd row of single stitches, but I'm always like aware I go a little fast, but I try my best to go slow. But I don't know what happened. I think I was with some friends, and like the curses of having a YouTube channel, they pulled up one of my videos and I noticed that I was actually going really fast, and I was like, whoops, I guess sometimes I do go a little too fast. So I'm like making an active effort in this tutorial to like go a little bit slower. Also, I watched one of my tutorials and I didn't realize how vague I was sometimes when I still tell stories, and I heard myself telling this story and I don't even know what I was talking about. I was being so vague, I don't even remember what I was talking about. And right now, me and one of my friends, he says I tell stories so great, because there was this time around, hold up, let's finish this row and then we'll go ahead to the next one. So I just finished the 2nd row of single stitches. And we should still be at 12 loops, but I'm going to go ahead and do 1 more row and then I'll go ahead and count. But back to my story. But he has this joke with me because he says I don't tell many details of stories because it was around Halloween time, and in my room at college or like university or whatever, I have this like one string of orange lights, and I had been waiting because I bought them like a year ago around Halloween, and I've been waiting till it was Halloween again so I could buy a second string of orange lights because my string of orange lights only went like halfway around my bed, and I wanted like it to go all the way around. So I was like, ugh, next Halloween I'm gonna buy like a second string of orange lights. But when I went to tell him about it, I was just like, I bought some orange lights today, and then I put them up, and that was my whole story to him, and he was like, okay, and I was like, it was so bad. It was such a bad story. And now like every time like he asks me something and I say like 2 details, he's like, great story, and I'm like, thank you. Anyways, I didn't realize that in my tutorials I was being like so mysterious sometimes. I'm like, dude, if I tell a story I'm gonna need to be like more in detailed. That's also like one of the curses of like having a YouTube channel, is it sometimes like makes you more aware of the things you do that I don't even think about. I do like occasionally talking in these videos, but I think that sometimes, and especially my recent tutorials, I was going a little bit overboard. But it's whatever. I still like my videos. I still think I do a pretty good job. Anyways, we're almost at the sea clip, so I guess I better wrap up my story. I don't know. Yeah. I'm pretty sure though, for all the people who like hate my stories, there's probably some of you that are like, no, Ginger, we love it when you talk even though you make no sense, which that's valid too. But I'm gonna try to be more a little balanced out in my tutorials. I also think maybe I'll start doing some Loom videos again where I just like have space to talk if I want to, you know? Anyways, that was 2 more rows of single stitches, so we have 3 more to go, but I'm just gonna count real quick to like make sure I'm still at 12 loops, so we should still be at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I'm still going good. I don't want this video to be too long, like I said, so I'm gonna go ahead and go off camera. I'm gonna do 3 more rows, so we have 6 rows of single stitches in total, and then I'm gonna come back and tell you what to do next. Okay, so I just finished the 6 rows, and I still have, and you should still be at 12 loops after these 6 rows, so if you want we can count around real quick. So again, start by counting the 1 on your hook. We should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And your polar bear should be looking a little something like this. So for the next part, we are going to be increasing this row, but we're going to be increasing like 3 in a row, like right sort of towards the front. And it's kind of hard to tell on them because of the scarves, but they do like it's straight here, and then they have like a little belly, and then rest of polar bear eyes. It is kind of hard to tell. It's like a subtle detail, but I didn't want to make them just like one straight shape all the way down, so we gotta increase them this row. So we're gonna be increasing 3 in a row starting on the 5th stitch. So I'll let you know where that is, but basically this one's gonna be our first stitch, and then we're gonna do like 4 single stitches, not single creases, what the heck is that? Single stitches, and then we're going to do 3 increases in a row, and then the rest of the way will be single stitches. So we'll start by counting this one, so this will be 1, 2, and we're just doing single stitches right now. 3, 4. Okay, so we actually so we did 4 single stitches, so we have the one with the C-clip on it, so we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now, starting on this 5th one, we're gonna do 3 increases in a row. So we're just gonna, so after our 4 single stitches, we're gonna start on this one and do 3 increases. So we're gonna increase on this one, the next one, and then 1 more. And then the rest of the way is single stitches. So like that. So we just did 3 increases in a row. And now we're just going to single stitch the rest of the way. And that's pretty much it for this row. And then we'll move our C-clip up. So now if we count around, we should be at 15 loops. So we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And your polar bear should now be looking a little something like this. So now it's about to get repetitive again. We are going to do 4 rows of single stitches, and at the end of each of these 4 rows, you should still be at 15 loops. And that's pretty much it. So once again, I'm going to stay on camera. I'm going to do like 2 rows with you, and then I'm going to go off camera and do the other rows. But I'll do 2 on camera with you, just to keep you company while you loom. And also because why not? I don't know. I just always do 2 rows on camera. It's just like the thing at this point. I don't know. Anyways. So once again, we're just going to do single stitches all the way around, and we're doing this for 4 rows, so this will be row 1. And at the end of this row, we'll still be at 15 loops. I got so scared when I went off to do the rows, and like, made sure the video saved and all that, and for a second, I thought I had my camera on the wrong settings. And I was like, no, don't tell me I had them on the wrong settings. And then no, it was fine, but it's because I get scared because like I started lending this camera to some of my friends when they asked to use it. I'm friends with a bunch of film majors, and they often rent their cameras from the school, but they found out I have a camera, and they also know about my YouTube channel, so they like see what I make or whatever. But sometimes they ask to borrow it, and like I'm cool letting them borrow it, but every time I get it back, they have all these like weird fancy settings on, because like I do art and stuff, but I am not a photographer at all, and like every time I film videos or anything, I literally have like most of my settings on auto, and then I just kind of look at the video and I'm like, it looks okay, and then I just kind of do that. So most of the time, even when I take photos with this camera, I use like very just like automatic settings and stuff. So when I get it back from them, one of them, he always puts the settings on manual. He always has it on like this different photo quality he wants, which is great, but then sometimes I forget to change it back and I'm like, why does my camera look weird? So yeah, I always have to like put it back to all my settings I like when I get it back. But yeah, one of my friends, he takes such good photos on this camera. I've seen him and I'm like, dang, that's just impressive. Like, I didn't know my camera could do this because I just use it for video and making loom tutorials. Anyways, we are back at the C-clip, so we're going to go ahead and move it up. And that's 1 row of single stitches. Like I said, we're doing 4, so I'm just going to keep going and do 1 more. Okay, we'll keep going. So around when I'm posting this, there's been like a huge break in tutorials, and I haven't really talked about why. I posted in the community tab like today why there was a break in tutorials, but it sucked because I like posted that video like, yeah, I'm coming back and I'll be posting all the time. And then I got sick twice in a month, and it was terrible. So like I got sick sometime in October, and then around Halloween I finally like felt better and was like catching up on school, and I was like, yeah, great, I'm catching up after being sick, because every time I get sick when I'm in school, it takes me like a week after whenever I'm sick to catch up. So I was like sick for a week, then I caught up on all my schoolwork. It looked like I was gonna like, it was probably like a week and a half I was like not sick, and then I got sick again, and it was so annoying because then I got behind again, and then by the time I caught up again with school, it was finals, and I was like trying to finish all my finals, and it was crazy. But that's where I was. I had a bunch of designs I wanted to make, like, well, not a bunch of designs I wanted to make tutorials for, but if you look in the community tab, there's like a little photo of a Beetlejuice guy I made around Halloween, or like, I guess just Beetlejuice. I made like a loom version of him, and I wanted to make a tutorial for him before Halloween, and then literally that week I got sick, and then I got better, and I was like, cool, I can finally make the tutorial, and then I got sick again. And it's so funny because it was literally the weekend I was like, oh my god, I have like no homework this weekend, I can actually like do stuff I want to do, and then bam, I got sick again, and I was like, the world hates me, the universe just isn't my day. But I'm back now. I think I've said before, but if I ever disappear on this channel, it's not because like I've lost interest or oh my god, whatever. I'm just busy. Something happened and I'm busy. But I think I'll always come back to like making Rainbowloom designs. Literally the second I finished the semester like a week ago, and then both of my siblings graduated college, so I had to go to their graduations, but like right after all that finished, I just sat in my room for like 2 days and I was just like working on loom things. I was like, I need a break. I'm just gonna sit in my room, watch some YouTube and TV and just do nothing, and it was great. And that's when I made this polar bear and like one other design I'm hoping to put out before Christmas. I'll show you what that design is at the end of this video. I'm gonna like tease it. I'm excited. Well, not tease it. I don't know. I think it's fun to like show what I'm coming up with like at the end of these, but anyways. So that was 2 rows of single stitches. We need 4 in total, so I'm gonna go off camera and do the other 2 rows, but I'm just gonna count real quick to make sure I'm still at 15 because we shouldn't be increasing. So we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There should be 15. I think I counted wrong. 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. So we have 15 still. So I'm gonna go do the other 2 rows and then we'll probably have to count again because we just always want to make sure we don't accidentally increase. And yeah. Okay, so I just finished the 4 rows of single stitches and now my polar bear looks something like this. As you can see, he has like a little belly. I think it's fun. So after the 4 rows, I know like we just counted before I left to finish the other rows, but we're gonna count again to make sure we're still at 15 loops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, that's 15. I'm like pretty sure I have 15. Every time I count wrong, I'm like, it's just me counting wrong. Like I totally have, yeah, I have 15. I just counted wrong. So now is gonna be a good time to stuff him. So I'm gonna be using cotton balls. So we're just gonna go ahead and tear these up. Stick them inside. You can use polyfill. I've used napkins and like or tissues to like stuff things whenever I'm like, it's happened so often when I'm on like road trips and I forget to bring cotton balls and then I end up using like a napkin from like a fast food place to stuff my creation. So you can use like a napkin or tissues if you don't have cotton balls. You can also use polyfill. A lot of loomers use polyfill. We're just gonna go ahead and stuff him. Also, I'm pretty sure he will stand, like, if he's empty, so if you don't have anything, absolutely anything to stuff him, you could also just leave him empty. He'll be fine. But I'm gonna stuff mine, so. Actually, you know how we were talking, well, I don't know, I mentioned earlier about the Beetlejuice design I made. I actually made him when I was on a road trip, and I stuffed him with napkins, so I forgot cotton balls, and he's full of napkins. I think they're, like, brown napkins, too, just, like, from McDonald's or something. But yeah, they work. Napkins work when you're desperate. I'm just stuffing him. And we're already almost done with this guy's like main portion, I guess. Then we just gotta put the arms and legs on. This design is fairly simple, but I really love him. Okay, so once you finish stuffing him, you'll just go ahead and put your hook back in. And if you forgot which way your hook goes, a trick for that is just notice which way all the loops are going. So my hook's like going towards the way all the loops are going. Anyways, we're about to start decreasing and like closing this guy up. So we're going to decrease every third this row, and what that means is we're going to do 2 single stitches and then we're going to do a decrease. So it's very similar to like increasing, it's just instead of increasing we decrease. Does that make sense? I don't know. So this will be 1 single stitch, and like I said, we're going to do 2 single stitches and then we're going to decrease. So this one will be 1. Oh, cotton. This next one will be 2. And since we just did 2 single stitches, this next one will be our decrease. And what a decrease is, let me make sure my camera's focused, is you grab the inside, oh, it's so hard to see because of the white, hold up. Oh, there we go. You grab the inside part of one loop, back part of the next loop, and then you just make a stitch. And that's a decrease. And I'll show you again in a second. So once again, we just did our decrease, so we're going to do 2 single stitches. So 1, 2, and then this next one will be our decrease. And just like before, we're going to grab the inside part of one loop, back part of the next loop, then we just make a stitch. And we just keep doing this all the way around. So we did our decrease, so we're going to do 2 single stitches. So 1, 2, and then we're going to decrease again. So inside part of one loop, back part of the next loop, make a stitch. My hook keeps slipping out. And then 1, 2, and then we are going to decrease on the one that has the C-clip on it, so we'll just go ahead and do our decrease. And then we'll just move our C-clip up onto this one. Like that. So now if we count, we should be at about 11 stitches, so go ahead and start by counting the one on your hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So you should have 11 loops. And this next row we're still decreasing, but now we're going to go back to like, not back, I don't know what I'm saying. We're going to decrease every other this row, and that's very similar to increasing every other, so we're going to alternate between doing a decrease and a single stitch all the way around until we get to the C-clip. Okay. I was picking up bands. That's why it was like a weird pause. Anyways, so this first one this time was actually a decrease, so our next one's going to be a single stitch. And then because we just did a single stitch, the next one will be a decrease. Then because we decrease, the next one will be a single stitch. And it's going to get a little hard to see what I'm doing here because we're starting to close up, but just trust the process. So the next one's a decrease because I just did a single stitch, and we just are alternating between decreases and still single stitches. So single stitch, and then a decrease, and then a single stitch. And once again, the decrease is going to land on the C-clip. Just go ahead and do the decrease because we're pretty much just closing up now. So go ahead and do the decrease on the one that has a C-clip on it. And at this point, we can just go ahead and take our C-clip out. But we still want to count around, so we should be at about like 7 or 6 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yeah, we should be at like 7 loops. So closing up goes pretty fast. I feel like I'm going fast. Sorry if I am. Always remember you can pause my videos if you're like a little behind so you can catch up. And the very last thing we're going to do is we're going to now decrease till close. So we're going to decrease until we can't decrease anymore, and that'll be it for the polar bear body. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to decrease everything. So every single stitch we do is going to be a decrease until we can't decrease anymore. Which might be very soon because this guy's closing up pretty fast. Okay, so I think this next decrease will go ahead and be my last one. And once you have the very last decrease up on your hook, you're just going to take a band, pull it through everything, then push the back one over the front one. Don't drop your things. And pull tight. And then we'll go ahead and tuck this tail into our polar bear. That. Then you just kind of give them a good squish. I probably could have put a little bit more cotton balls in this guy, but he's okay. And there we go. So this is going to be the body for our polar bear, and now we basically have to attach the ears and everything else. And I think it looks worse than it is, because we actually kind of like stitch around for the legs. And we add on this guy too, and then the only things we really attach are the ears, the face, like elements, and then the arms. And then we kind of just tie the scarf on him. I kind of just tied the ends of the scarves to them. That's why I've been like able to like rip them off and show you how they like look with other scarves, and then put it back on. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and start with the legs because I think it's better to like establish where the legs are. I think I did the nose first on this guy, and then when I showed this guy to my family, all of them were like, his face is crooked, and I was like, thank you guys. You could have just said it was cute, but you told me it was crooked. Okay. So we're gonna start with the legs this time. So for the legs, what we're gonna do is we're gonna stitch 6 times to make like a little circle right here. So basically, you're just gonna pick a spot where you want your leg. You can kind of see where the legs are on my other polar bears. We'll have them back there for leg references. I don't know. But I'm just gonna go, I usually like to start like the top of where I want my leg to be. So I'm gonna go ahead, I think I want the leg to be about right here. And I'm gonna just go ahead and make a stitch. And we're just gonna stitch around in a circle 6 times. So this is stitch 1, 2, and we're kind of just making the general shape of a circle. 3, 4, 5, and right here will be 6. So I just stitched kind of to make like this weird circle, stitched around 6 times. If we count, we should have 6 loops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now we're gonna go through this first one, make a stitch. That's the first loop, by the way. And then we'll put our C-clip on this one. And that's like the start of our leg. Now we're gonna do one row normal around this. So we're just gonna do 1 row of single stitches around this little circle we made. Oh, I'm trying to get my camera to focus. Okay. So we're just going to do 1 row of single stitches around this until we get to the C-clip. So we're just doing 1 stitch per loop. And then once you get to the C-clip, you can go ahead and take it out. And if you count around, you should still be at 6 loops, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And now we're going to decrease till close. So we're just going to decrease every single stitch until we can't decrease anymore. And this is a fairly small shape, so I imagine we're probably only going to do like 3 decreases and we'll be like done. But we're just going to decrease everything until closed. So yeah, this next decrease is going to be my last one. So once you get to the last decrease up on your hook, just like before, we're going to pull a band through everything, put both ends back on your hook, and pull it tight. Well, you push the back one over the front one and pull it tight. I forgot to say that. My words get all jumbled up. And then you'll just pull the tail. I just realized I was doing this off camera, I'm so sorry. But you'll pull the tail into the leg, and then you kind of just flatten it out, and he has a leg. So I think I am going to do the other leg on camera just because this part I know is probably the most confusing part of this polar bear, but I'm going to go a little faster. But that's one leg. We need to go ahead and make the other leg. It looks so cute. And I need to pick up more white bands. I'm so glad I found this pack of white in my room. I'm pretty sure I only have 1 pack. I'm thinking of doing a video organizing all my loom supplies because it's in a state of chaos right now and I honestly don't know what bands I have and what I don't. I really honestly just need to organize all my loom stuff. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and do the other leg. I'm gonna explain like what I'm doing sort of, but I am gonna go a little faster than last time. So just like before, we're gonna stitch 6 times in a circle. Gonna pick a spot where you want the other leg. I'm thinking like right here-ish, so I'm gonna go start right here. And then we'll stitch 6 times in like a circle shape for our leg. That's 2, 3. Dang, I put these legs really close together. 4, 5, and right here will be 6. So once you stitch 6 times in a circle, you're going to go into the first loop, make a stitch, put our C-clip on this one, And then we're going to go around and do 1 row of single stitches. And once you get to the C-clip, you're going to make a stitch on the one that has a C-clip on it. You can go ahead and take it out at this point. If you count around, you should still be at 6 loops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now we decrease till close. We should have the second leg. And we're almost done with this leg. Once again, once you have the last decrease up on your hook, you're going to pull the band through everything. Put both ends on your hook, push the back one over the front one, and pull tight. And then you'll just tuck the tail into your polar bear. Like that. I think I put his legs a little close together, but I like them. So that's it for the legs. I'm trying to think if we should do the nose or the arm next, because the nose is made almost exactly the same as the legs. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do the nose. Also because once you've established where the legs are, you kind of have an idea of where you want to put the face, because you kind of have like established a middle. So we're going to go ahead and do the nose real quick. Okay. I picked up way too many bands for this nose. But the nose is made very similar to the legs. So we're going to stitch 5 times in a circle where you want the nose to be on the face. I think I want my nose to be right here. So we're going to start by stitching 5 times in a circle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, actually no, 4, and then that'll be 5 right here, yes, right here, that'll be 5. So once you stitch 5 times in like a circle, you're going to want to count to make sure you have 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then on this first loop here, we're going to go ahead and do a stitch. And the nose is a little bit faster because now we're just going to decrease till closed, I believe. Let me double check. Yeah, so now we're just going to decrease till closed. So this is probably only going to be like 2 decreases, but we're going to go ahead and do 1 decrease. Then we're going to do 1 more. And that's pretty much it for the nose, so we're going to go ahead and tie off. So we'll pull the band through everything. And then push the back one over the front one. And pull tight. And then you just hide the tail into the face. And that'll be our nose on this guy. Yeah, I'm having a hard time pulling it in because I keep snagging things. Okay. And then you should have a little lump, and that'll be our nose. Okay, I had to make sure I remembered how to make the ears and everything else, but we're good to go. So we're gonna just go ahead and put the ears on real quick because why not? So I put 1 ear on him already, and the ears are also fairly simple. So we're gonna take 3 bands in whatever color your polar bear is. For me, that's white. And we're gonna wrap them 4 times around our hook. So we're gonna take 3 bands, and we're just gonna wrap them 4 times around our hook. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we are going to slide all of this onto 1 band, which is kind of challenging, but it is possible. It's also really hard to do this on camera. There we go. And then this will be our ear, so we're just going to use this band to tie our ear into our polar bear. I think I'm going to put the other ear right here. So we'll just go ahead, tie it in, and then we'll hide her tail. And that's pretty much how you do the ears. So you just do 2 of those for the ears. You tie them in where you want the ears. And that's pretty much it. Now he has ears. So we can go ahead and put the nose on real quick too, because the nose is also very simple. It's just a wrap band. So you're going to want to take a band, whatever color you want your nose. I'm doing black again today. And you're just going to wrap it 5 times around your hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Slide it onto a band, and then you just use this band to tie your nose in at the tip of the little snout we made. I think right here's a good spot. You'll just tie it in, and then hide the tail. And now our polar bear has a nose. So I'm going to show you how to do the face after we do the arms. It's just that those 2 things are like super easy, so I thought I'd show you how to do them real quick. Also, because now we can kind of see like how our polar bear is coming together. He's starting to look so cute. I also maybe should have tied his nose a little more in the middle, but I'm going to leave it there for now. Yeah. So we'll do the arms, because he's kind of armless right now. The arms... Okay, the arms are also not that bad. I don't know why in my head I was like dreading doing the arms. I'm like, oh, the arms are so complicated, but they're not that complicated. So let me just pick up some bands for the arms. I've also like gathered, you can kind of see my bands on the side here for the scarf. I've picked my colors, and I'm very excited to do the scarf. I really like the rainbow scarf I made this guy, and I'll let you know how to make a rainbow scarf if you want to do a rainbow one, but it's pretty simple. I always film tutorials like in the morning, and they always end up like running into when I eat lunch, and like I'm so hungry right now. So I'm kind of excited to finish this polar bear, one, because we'll get to see him all finished and cute, and also because I'm hungry. So yeah, I'm ready to go eat lunch. And I could take a break and like come back and finish filming, but like we're so close to the end, I'm like, I'm just gonna finish this tutorial and then I'll eat. It'll be fine. I don't know why. I feel like I'm talking weird today. Maybe I am. I don't know. Anyways, we're gonna make an arm. So let me move this polar bear out of the background so he's not in the way. So both arms are made the same way. I'm gonna just go ahead and make one, and then I might make a second one really quick. We're gonna start with a tripled cat band, so we're gonna wrap a band 3 times around our hook. And then we're going to put 4 stitches into this cat band. So it's very similar to how we started the polar bear. It's actually exactly the same to how we started the polar bear. So we'll pull a band through the cat band, push the back one over the front one, go back into the cat band, pull the band through, just the cat band. Nearly lost it. No. Okay. Then we'll push the back one over the front one, and then push the loop from last time over as well. And we just do that same thing 2 more times, so we have 4 stitches in this cat band. And I am going a little fast here because we already kind of covered this in this tutorial. And then once you have 4 stitches in your cat band, you're just going to want to go ahead and count to make sure you have 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you're going to go into the first loop, make a single stitch, and we'll put a C-clip on this one. So that's the start of our arm. And I had bands stuck to my hand from the scarf bands over here. Anyways, now we're going to do 2 rows of single stitches. So we're just going to do 2 rows around this little thing we made. So I'm going to go ahead and just get started. And at the end of these rows, you should still be at 4 loops. Also, this is kind of hard to do because it is very tiny. But you kind of just gotta trust that you know where the loops are. Also, these rows are really fast because it's so tiny. Okay, so that was 1 row. Move our C-clip up. We'll go ahead and do another row. This guy's so tiny, like the rows happen so fast. And we'll do our last single stitch on the one that has a C-clip on it. And that'll be the end of row 2. So now we'll take our C-clip out. We pretty much only have to decrease once and the arm's done. So we're going to just go ahead and pick up that last decrease. So inside part of one loop, back part of the next loop. We have it up on our hook. We're going to pull a band through. And then we're going to use this band to tie into our polar bear. So just kind of hold it. Get your polar bear. I'm going to put his arm, because this is the top of his arm, so I'm going to put the top of his arm right here. And we'll just use this band to tie it in. And then I like to just tie the other end of his hand to his belly. So we'll just go through kind of the cat band, go through part of wherever the hand's landing, and we'll just tie it again down here. Like that. And we have one arm. So you're gonna need 2 arms. I think I'm gonna pause the tutorial and just go ahead and make the second arm real quick. I thought about doing it on camera, but it does take a second, so I'm just gonna pause right here, do the other arm, and then we're just gonna tuck these tails in. I'm also gonna tuck them in off camera because I hate tucking tails in on camera. Okay, so pause the video, make the other arm, and then come back and I'll show you how to finish the scarf. And there's yeah, I know at the start of the tutorial, there's not a lot of attaching, but I've changed my mind. There is a little bit of attaching, but we're fine, hopefully. I don't know. Okay, so we got arms on the polar bear, and this is what he looks like, and he's so cute. I actually think I put the mouth a little bit low, if you notice on this guy. It's a little bit higher, it's a lot higher, but I think he's still gonna be cute. So now we're gonna do the face real quick, and the face is super easy because it's just eyes and cheeks. So I already put one eye on a band, but if you don't know how to do that, I'm gonna show you really quick. And if you don't have beads for eyes, you can use bands. So the same way we did the nose with wrapping a band around 5 times, you can do the exact same thing and it'll make an eye band. And then you'll just tie it in where you want the eyes. And if you're doing the eyes with bands, I would probably change the nose to maybe a pink color, just because that way they won't blend in, even though it'll probably look fine. Anyways, if you're using beads, you're going to want to get your bead, get a piece of string. I like to use dental floss, it just kind of works the best. You'll put your bead on the string, then you'll take a band, put it on the string as well, and then you'll put the end of the string back through the band, not through the band, through the bead, and then you'll just slide your bead onto the band, and then you'll use this to give your guy some eyes. So I like putting the eyes really close to the snout, so I'm gonna go ahead and put one eye. Where should we put it? I'm thinking right here. Watch him look so derpy and I'll be like, oh, that's way too low. Let's put it a little bit higher. That's just in the middle of his face. I don't want to do that either. Maybe we'll put the eye right here. Yeah, that's better. That's a lot better. Okay, I'm not gonna hide the tail yet because I'm gonna do the other eye. And we'll put the other eye right here, maybe? Hopefully his eyes don't look like they're too far apart. Ow, that always happens. I pulled too hard with the beads, and I don't know if it's his beads, but they always end up snapping on me. It kind of hurts. It's okay. I'm sorry. I really want to finish up my polar bear, so I'm just redoing the eye real quick. I think when I was making this guy, I had the purple band snap on my fingers 3 or 4 times, and I was kind of just dying a little bit, but it was okay. But also my fingers hurt. Band snapping on your fingers really does hurt. Oh, that eye's way too far to the side. Hold up. So with the eyes, it is kind of just trial and error. That's why I don't like to tuck the tails in until I'm happy with where the eyes are. Because you will put an eye in and then you'll look at it and be like, that just doesn't look right. Which happens more often than you think. Okay, I kind of like where his eyes are right now. I know they look a little bit close together, but once I tuck the tail in, they'll kind of pull it a little bit farther apart, and that's kind of where I want them. So I'm just going to tuck the tails in really quick. And then we'll put some cheeks on him, and then we'll get onto the scarf. Okay. So now he has eyes. And I like to give my guys cheeks, so we're going to take 2 bands in the color we want our cheeks to be. You're going to come right under where the eye is, and you're going to pull this band through, put both ends on your hook, push the back one over the front one, and you're going to pull it tight but not too tight, because we want this band to show through a little and make it look like he's blushing. And then we'll probably put the other cheek right here. We'll just hide our tails. Like that. And now our polar bear has blush. So he looks pretty cute at this point, and if you just want to make a bear, you could stop here and you would have a bear. But I liked the extra step of giving him a scarf, because like it's wintertime and he's all warm and cozy. So I'm going to show you how to make a scarf for him. So you're going to want to get whatever colors you want for your scarf. Like I mentioned, I think at the start of this, it's kind of like around Christmas time when I'm filming this, so I'm going to be using 3 colors here. We have sparkly green, there's like a darker red and then a lighter red. And that's pretty much it. So I'm going to also kind of make it look stripy like I did in this one. So if you want to do a rainbow scarf, you would just get rainbow colors and do it in the exact same way I'm doing it. Like, but you just switch between rainbow colors. But I'm going to be switching between these 3 colors. So we have a dark red, a green, and then a light red. Okay. So to start the scarf, you're going to want to take a band and wrap it 3 times around your hook. It would help if my camera was focused, thank you. And then we're going to pull the band through, both ends back on our hook, push the back one over the front one. Then we're going to go back in and put another stitch into this cap band. So we have 2 stitches in this cap band, like that. And okay, a couple things before we continue. If you're doing a multicolored scarf, you do not slip stitch at all. And what was the other thing? No, I think that was it. I don't know why I thought there was 2 things. There's only one thing. There's no slip stitching in the scarf. So if you don't know what slip stitching is, that's fine. I'm going to show you how to make the scarf. But if you do, often when we flip colors, we do a thing called a slip stitch to make it like cleaner. You don't have to do that for the scarf. So no, don't slip stitch between colors. You're just going to change between what color you're using. Anyways, once we have 2 stitches in this cap band here, we're going to turn directions. So we're facing this way. We're going to turn, so we're facing the other way. And you can see that there's pretty much only 1 loop. We're going to go into that loop and we're going to do an increase. Like that. And now we're going to pretty much do the same thing again. So we're facing this way, we're going to turn so we're facing the other way. We're going to go in through this 1 loop. And we're going to do an increase. And we're going to do this again. So we just finished our 1 increase, we're going to turn so we're facing the other way. We're going to go into this 1 loop here. There's pretty much only 1 loop. There technically is a second loop, but we don't go into it. We just kind of use it to like switch rows, I don't know. And you just do an increase in that loop. And then once again, we're facing this way. We're going to turn so we're facing the other way. And this thing is so small, it's not like really complicated to turn. You kind of just, and you're facing the other way. So you'll turn so you're facing the other way, go into this, the 1 loop, the only loop, and do an increase. And we just keep doing this until the scarf is as long as we want it. And that's pretty much it. This does take a second though, because you kind of got to make the scarf long enough to go all the way around his neck. I don't think there was like a specific number of rows I did. I kind of just kept trying it on my polar bear until I was like, that's the perfect length, and then I stopped. So I'm going to go and make the scarf long enough to be a scarf. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Yep. Okay, so I just made the scarf as long as it needed to be a scarf. And I just kind of measured this by trying it on my... The camera wasn't focused. Trying it on my polar bear and being like, does that look good? And then I got to this point, I'm like, that looks good. I also just undid these last 2 stitches. Whoops. Yeah, okay. So once you get to the end of your scarf, you're just gonna go into, you're gonna turn, go into the last loop, and then just pull a band through. And you can use it to tie it off, or you can use this band to tie the scarf onto your polar bear, which is what I'm gonna do. And I like to kind of, so if it's going over this shoulder, I like to tie it all the way down here at this foot. So scarf's going around that way. I'm gonna tie down here by the foot. That, and then I'll wrap the scarf around him, and then I'll take another band. I usually do the band that's a scarf color, and we'll just tie it around on the other side. And he's in a scarf. And you'll just tuck the tails in real quick, just so we don't have those sticking out. Usually tuck in pretty easy. Okay. Okay. And there we go. We have our polar bear in a scarf. I do kind of like this polar bear's face better, but if you want your polar bear to look more like this, I kind of just made the mistake of making his face a little low, so I could just move his face up higher and he would look more like this, and like he has a longer neck instead of a bigger head, but that was kind of my fault. But yeah, I think that's it for this tutorial. I hope your polar bear came out okay, and I really tried to go slow this tutorial, so hopefully everything's fine. If you make a polar bear in a scarf, definitely share it with me on Instagram. I am a little bit behind on liking posts just because I've been in school and stuff and overwhelmed and busy, but I do always look at them, and I'm gonna go through very soon and like them all. And probably post them to my story on Instagram. So if you make a polar bear, definitely share it with me. I would love to see it. You can subscribe to my channel to see what else is coming. I definitely have more tutorials coming. I'm going to be on a little break from school, and I'm hoping to squeeze out 2 to 3 more tutorials, but we'll see how that goes. You can follow me on Instagram if you want to see what designs are up and coming, and as well as what I'm up to. I've also just been posting a lot of art and some fun stuff I've been doing. And yeah, so you can check out my Instagram, it is linked down below. And what else do I have to say? I do have this design that I'm hoping to get out before Christmas. This isn't even the final version, I have to fix them a little bit, but it's an updated version of my gingerbread design, and I love this so much more. Not that my other gingerbread design isn't good, it's just I was kind of thinking and I was like, I bet I could do better now, and I love, like, he's so cute. So excited. Anyways, that'll be coming hopefully before Christmas. I make no promises, but I'm going to try my best to get it out before then. Did I say everything? I think I said everything, so I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye.